What's up, guys? I'm back today with another Pocket GM3 video on the channel. And in today's video, we are back with episode number 3 and season number 3 of our series with Jacksonville. 6-11 the first year, 5-12 the second year. And I'm hoping we can have a little bit better of a year this upcoming year. You guys can check out where the team stands. 75 flat overall across the board. Offense, defense, and overall. We're ranked 27th in the power ranking, 23rd in defense, 24th in offense. We can go check that out really quickly. So in the beginning of the game, right now, there's a lot of high overall teams. But with the progression system kind of messed up, some of the overalls are kind of dropped down a little bit. So Washington and Denver and teams like that will probably drop down in overall, hopefully in the offseason, and hopefully we'll be able to pick up some better players as we head here. 27th overall. Offensively, we are 24th, and defensively, we are 23rd. As you guys can tell there, this is what the team is going to look like heading into year number 3, and it doesn't look too bad. There's some good pieces here. We got a couple of pieces that we did pick up, but there's definitely still some room that we need to make some improvements. We don't have those star players that we need to pick up, and we don't have much money left. We have $5 million, but next year we'll have $97 million in cap space. So we'll be able to make some moves, and a lot of these players are either signed to one-year deals or their contracts are expiring, or kind of stuff like that. And I'm kind of debating, we might get rid of Denver Wilcox if we're really just out of it. If we're like 7 games through the year and we have 1 or 2 wins, we'll probably try to get rid of Denver Wilcox, get some trade capital for him, and then maybe pick up a quarterback or something like that. So we'll have to see what happens, but let's head into this year. We are going to start off against Tennessee. They're a 76 overall, very good offense, rough on the defensive side. And we do lose a close one, 40-38, 545 yards of offense, and we still lose the game. Denver Wilcox with 2 interceptions. On the ground, 3 rushing touchdowns for Rochelle, and then 1 for Heron. Probably Heron. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, kind of a disappointing loss there. 3 touchdowns. Our guy's going to get player of the week. Move on to the Jets. And we do finally get on the board with a W. Close one, 23-20. Lots of offense, as you guys can see. Maybe that's because our defense is so bad and the other team is also scoring a lot of points and putting up a lot of yards. So that's probably not really a good thing, but at least the offense can at least go out there and do a little bit of something. 50 pass attempts for Wilcox, not the greatest. Moving on to week number 3. Ooh, we do have an injury to our cornerback. That's all right. It is what it is. It's going to be out for 7 weeks, though. That's not great. Let's actually check on that really quickly. And it is going to be our older veteran, 71 injury rating, kind of expected there. And it looks like this 23-year-old who has probably never played. Oh, he played last year. He's going to get in the game, dropping us down to a 74 on defense. But let's continue to go. Arizona looks like a really tough team. 38-34. We're losing some tough games here. Not great, because it probably means that we're letting up a lot of yards, and the defense really just isn't holding. 98 points allowed, but we're also scoring pretty good, so it's kind of up in the air there. But we do lose another close game to Indy, another 400-yard day for the team, and we're losing close game after close game as we continue on in this one against Miami. They do have a tie, and now we have another loss. Still a 7-point loss here. But only 294 yards of offense. The rushing game could not get going today. 8 for 15. Rough one on the ground as we move on to San Francisco. They are phenomenal. Undefeated. We're about to get crushed right here. 38-3. We'll forget about that one. We're not even going to look at the stats on that one. Moving on to Houston. They are in the division. And we lose another close one, 23-21. So as I was saying, if we got to this point and we were in a very bad spot, I said that we would trade away some players or trade away Wilcox, which is probably the better option. 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, really not looking like we're going to do anything. So quickly, I do just want to check if we see how much Wilcox is going to get us. 129. I almost say that's not worth it. It's probably not worth it to trade for 129. Let's see, pick a bad team here. Say we pick Seattle. They have a bad quarterback. Are they going to be more interested in him? No. So 129 really is where we're at. So probably going to continue to keep going. Our tight end or backup tight end is going to be out for 2 weeks. 3 weeks. I completely read it wrong. As we move on. Not exactly the way I expected the season to start, but we do get back on the board against the Rams. 330 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns for Wilcox. And he's probably going to, like I said, he's going to get the rest of the year, see what he can do. Because he's not worth a lot, we really probably shouldn't trade him. We are losing a ton of these close games. So disappointing. We do get the victory against Indy, redeeming ourselves from our last loss against them. Moving on to Buffalo. This is a team we really needed to beat, moving us to 3-8 on the year. Not a great day for the team. And moving on to Seattle, we had a pretty easy, we had a couple easy games here, and we are just not doing enough. Defensively, the defense is just absolutely horrible. Wilcox is doing okay, but the defense is just not going to cut it. We're moving on to the Rams, and we get another loss, moving us to 3-10 on the year. We're going to quickly check out where we lay in the standings. So it looks like we're still in line for like a top 7 pick right now. Are there any more undefeated teams? It looks like there isn't. We're pretty much out of the playoff run at this point, and we lose another close game by 2 points. It looks like we're giving up 430 points, which is hands down second most behind Arizona. Wow. 430 points. We are scoring 344. Comparing that to like some really bad teams. Look at this. 5-9 in the Jets. They've only scored 297. 2-12 in Indy. Like, we're scoring a lot of points. We're scoring a really good amount of points. It's just the defense that really is holding us back here. Yeah, you guys can see offensively, we're 20th. Defensively, last. So we're going to move on to Houston. Tough one. We do lose another close one, 7-point game. As we move on to New England, we do get the victory. A nice little upset victory against New England. 2 interceptions for their quarterback. And we do take the victory in Week 16, moving us to 4-12. As we move on to Tennessee, can we close it out on a high? We do. A 2-game winning streak to close this one out. And that is where our season ends. I should have made a prediction before the season, but it looks like our quarterback is actually going to get injured in the last week of the season. But anyways, we got to check out some of the stats. 29-9 defensively, absolutely horrible. Passing 5,400 yards. Rushing game did take a little bit of a step back. Ryan Reynolds, another good year. Lee with a solid year as well. 33 years old with a solid year. Booker, pretty solid year as well in his second year. Upped his yardage from last year. A little bit more on the touchdowns as well. Our Rochelle is, again, an amazing 800 yards on the ground. And another 748 through the air. So pretty good defensively. 7 sacks by our 72 overall. 6 by our defensive end. 3 interceptions for Robertson. Just not a good year. Cardona is not going to have a great kicking year. Missed 6 field goals. And that's kind of not great. Not exactly. We'll check out some of the overall stats really quickly. 50 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Might win the MVP there. So, we'll move on to the running backs. 1,800 yards. Our running back is definitely down there. Pretty high up there in touchdowns, though. Wide receiver. Looks like he's going to finish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the NFL in receiving yards. Can't complain about that. Tight ends. Our tight end, did he do anything? 130 yards, 120 yards. Absolutely terrible. Defensively, 20 sacks to lead the way. 7 interceptions is a great year, too. Field goal percentage, 79. I mean, I guess our kicker didn't do terrible. Punting-wise, we're kind of middle of the pack. So, fairly good offense and a absolutely horrible defense. Overall, we're going to be 27th. And it looks like we're pretty much locked in for a top 6 pick, probably. Offensively, we're actually going to be 19th. 19th. Pretty crazy. Defensively, we're actually not last. We're second to last. So, you guys can see Arizona kind of struggled with a pretty solid team. 8-9, kind of struggled. But let's get through this playoffs. We can check out actually everyone else. 15-2 for Denver. Gonna get the 1 seed, and it looks like 15-2 for San Francisco. Also going to get the 1 seed. We'll check out the playoffs. and we will sim through here, and we'll check out some of these seedings. Looks like a couple upsets, actually. A couple road teams are going to win, especially in the NFC. We'll move on to the next week of this season. Houston does finally get knocked out. And what do we have left? 1 seed. Wow. A 4 and a 6 in Pittsburgh. And we move on. Who is going to the Champions Bowl? An 8 and 9 Baltimore team is going to be facing off against Washington. And who do we think? Wow, a 5 and 6 seed making it to the Super Bowl or the Champions Bowl. And we're going to sim through here. And it looks like Washington is going to win it. Their receiver, Lorenzo Davis, 11 receptions, 150, and a touchdown. This guy ended up winning it with the 50 touchdowns. It looks like he did. Pretty solid year from here. From him, backup is going to be 43 and 17, not too bad. Washington going to get Defensive Player of the Year. Is this the guy who had 20 sacks? It is. And then it looks like no one else for us is going to be in there. We'll see if we have any All-Pro players. I highly doubt we do. I thought maybe we'd have a chance with our receiver, but it looks like that is not going to happen. And we do not have anybody on the All-Pro team. So we'll see if we have anybody on the conference team. And we're going to have to make some changes here in the offseason. And I will see you guys with some changes that we decide to make. So you guys can see we expected more from you and the team this year and are disappointed with the performance. The team isn't ready to win a championship, but we expect you to make a run at the playoffs next year. Another run at the playoffs. This team has had 3 straight losing seasons. And last year, 6-11, 5-12, and 5-12. And yet we're still expected to make the Champions Bowl or make the playoffs at least. So not great. We have some changes to make here in the offseason. Some coaches to sign, obviously. Some players to potentially re-sign. Lots of things to think about. A lot of players to think about, and kind of just thinking about what we decide to do here in the upcoming season. But anyways, I will catch you guys in a couple seconds once I build this new team, and we'll see where we stand. We actually did upgrade a little. Some of the players are doing a little bit better. 77 offense, 75 defense. So we'll have to see what players we want to re-sign, what players we do want to bring back, and obviously check out the free agency and what kind of moves we want to make there. So I'll see you guys in a second. And hopefully we can make a team and form up a team that can potentially make it to the playoffs. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so we are back after the off season. I did quickly want to show you the college prospects for next season. These are 3 players that are probably going to end up being in the draft if they do declare. Guy from Alabama looks pretty solid. Guy from Texas looks pretty solid as well. And then the guy from Mississippi as well looks good. Obviously, the Alabama guys looks the best as of right now, but it doesn't really matter. Any of these guys will probably be an interesting player to pick up. So, going to keep our eyes on those guys, and then I will show you guys the team. As we head over here, we still have Denver Wilcox. We'll probably let him play out the last year of his contract. He did fairly well last year, 29-9, 21-6 the year before. Not terrible. He's not going to go bring us and make us make it to the all-conference team or anything like that, but he's a good piece. Running back room's pretty good. Wide receiver, we did go out. Ryan Reynolds ended up leaving for another team, and he ended up not wanting to come back to the team. We gave him on offer, a 3-year offer too, and him being like 30 years old, and he did not want to come back to the team. So he gave the offer to Aaron Ely. We are paying him a fairly pretty penny, hit $16.5 million, and he hasn't played in a year, but both of the years he did play, made all-pro and the Conference Bowl. Receiving core is not too bad. I picked up a new rookie, and also picked up this guy now that I'm realizing it. Or he's still on the team now that I'm realizing it. He does have super development. Tight end, offensive line pretty much stayed the same. Picked up a new center. Defensive tackles look okay. The draft wasn't great. It was okay. We did get a middle linebacker, which I'll show you guys in a second. Defensive ends are all right. Outside linebackers are all right. This is our new middle linebacker that we picked up. Drafted him in the first round, 81 overall. 81 injury, which is not great. Cornerbacks, they're okay. Pretty much the thing that I struggled with in the offseason for free agency was offering big contracts to players. We're trying to get like top tier superstar kind of players, and I'd offer them big contracts and offering them longer deals or more money than some other teams are offering, and we still weren't even chosen for any of those players. So that was disappointing. We did increase our overall. We're 76 overall, 77 offense, 76 defense. And power rankings 21st, 14 defense, and 20th on offense. So we do have some potential. We're going to actually check out the overalls. It looks like some of the overalls are dropping a little bit. There's only 4 teams with a green overall. 4 teams, 1, 2, 8 teams, I mean, with a green overall. But you guys can see we sit at 21st. Some offensively, Denver and San Francisco and Washington are insane. We sit at 20th. And defensively, Philly's still a powerhouse as well. But yeah, looking pretty good. Hoping we can do fairly well this year, but we'll have to see what happens. We should be, I'm hoping, maybe like 7-9 or 8-9. I mean, not 7-9, 8-9, somewhere in that range. 8-9, 9-8, where we're competing for maybe a potential wildcard spot. We do have to cut one player, which we'll do in a little bit. But that is pretty much where this episode is going to end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video.